forget how to do this. Welcome back to the Hello Hair Pro podcast. My name is Todd. I'm here with Jen.
Hello.
And our guest, Steve.
How we doing?
Ferreira.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Nailed it.
Perfect. What do you got, Jen? You want to start?
Sure.
Where are we headed on
I
this
was
journey?
gonna ask Steve what led him into being a barber.
I needed a job.
I love that.
No, it's funny. It's almost similar to your stories where I had a series of unsuccessful. Not you were more successful than me, but I had a series of jobs that just weren't going anywhere. And then at one point, my friends and I, Ed and then another person, we were putting out clothes and like records, and we threw a party and we made some money. And I can remember it. I was at Silvertone in downtown Boston with my wife. And I was like, this is going well, but I was like, I can't get this to the next level. I was like, I don't know what to do. I hate my job. And she was like, I think you should go to barber school. And I was like, are you serious? And she was like, yeah. I go, really? Because you told me before you didn't think I could do this job. Because I had thought about doing it a while ago because one of my good friends was a barber. And it's funny because...
And your wife's a hairstylist, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So she was like, no, I think you should be a barber. Not a hairdresser, but you should be a barber. And I was like, I thought about it for a minute and I went, all right, I'll do it. So then I just...
Game on.
Yeah. I saved a bunch of money, quit my job, went to barber school. And the funny thing is everywhere I worked previously to becoming a barber had gone out of business 2 years after I left. Not necessarily because I left, but that probably had something to do with it. Yeah, it might have. So yeah,
That's awesome.
That's how I became a barber.
And how long have you been a barber for?
8 years.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I've been at it for a little bit now.
I love it. How long has your wife been doing hair?
Forever.
Yeah.
Like
me.
62
yeah,
62
like,
years. That's what we joke.
Like Bill Clinton was probably in office when she first got a license.
Awesome. All right, so let's talk a little bit, maybe like your first job and then sort of what led you into like your next jobs to get you to where you are currently in your barbershop salon. Do you call it a barbershop or a salon?
We're now calling it a hair studio.
Love that. Okay.
Yeah.
So what got you to like hair studio? Because I think there's a new up and coming, I feel like, breed of people coming out of hair school and barber school, like leaps and bounds. Like there's just like, they're flooding the industry. So I think it's cool for them to hear people's stories and struggles or not struggles that keep the ones that really need to be in this industry long term.
Yeah.
They understand like it's maybe just not an easy street, right? And there's lots of like pivoting that needs to happen in order for them to continue their career if it's meant for them. So I'd love to hear a little bit about your journey within that.
Yeah, so I went to hair school, barber school in Malden at the New England Hair Academy.
Are they still open?
Yeah, they're never gonna close. To be honest, I can say whatever I want on here.
Yep.
I feel like it really wasn't that great of an experience. I don't feel like it was much different than anyone else's experience.
Yeah.
I went full time, so it's 1,000 hours a mass.
And how old were you at the time?
I was like 32.
Okay, because that's kind of old for getting into the industry, right?
Yeah.
I was 21, and that was old at the time getting into the
You guys
industry.
are killing me.
And Todd, you were...
I was 39.
Were you? Okay, yeah.
You know the funny thing, though? So there was a lot of younger kids who had just gotten out of school, like out of high school and went straight into barbering. There were people that were like in their mid-20s. There was me. There was maybe a couple other people like in their, like kind of having a little career change in their early 30s. And then there was like a crew of people that were like 50.
I saw that at your school, too,
And
you went, Todd.
Yeah, I don't think we had anyone in their 50s.
Late 40s to like 52,
we had some
53.
Which is crazy.
We definitely had. Yeah, there was the group of really young. Like, did you finish high school? And then there was the other side for sure. Yeah, I'm trying to think specific, but yeah,
Those people, that older crowd, with the exception of a couple of them, were the craziest people in the school. Because all the hair school nightmares, like there's some kid punches another kid and you're like, oh my God, like this is nuts. This is insane. Like my school was crazy. It was nuts. There was fights in the school. Like I'd be like, oh my, like dude, like I'm paying all this money to watch. Like people are coming back from lunch hammered. Like it was kind of wild in there. And
I had a couple of lunches.
Yeah. the craziest people in there were the older people, because a lot of them were people that were very delusional, and then at some point they decided, I'm going to go cut hair. It's easy. It's like the hardest job ever.
I would agree there. I think that's a normal thing, I think, is that people think it's just fun. And it is, but it is a lot of work to get to the part where you're just having fun.
It's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
I was one of those people until my first day was
You had to
over
actually
at
cut
barber
hair?
school. Yeah, so I was like, how the fuck hard can this be?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're going to show me how to do it well, but it can't be hard. Like, it can't be difficult. And my first day ever, and I had never cut hair. Like, I didn't cut friends' hair. Like, my instructors didn't even believe me. They were like, you've never cut hair. Everyone's at least cut their friend's hair. No, I've never cut anyone's hair. First day, someone walks in, they want a head shave. And I'm like...
Start sweating from all parts of your body that don't even know exist.
So I was like, I don't even know how to use a razor. And they were like, use a safety razor and shave this guy's head. And I remember being like shaking.
Yeah.
And then my second day I came in and I had a one-on-one chat with the instructor because I was like, I thought this was going to be fucking easy. Like, turns out it's not. Like, maybe I made a mistake. I didn't want to quit or anything, but
You need to reset that mind.
So
holy shit, yeah.
Yeah, so for me, like, I had a lot of respect for the industry going into it because my wife was already doing really well. She's always been very busy and very talented and very passionate. So I was like, wow, if I get into this, I was like, it's going to take me 5 years to do a good haircut. Like, I really thought that. And then all these other kids who were just nasty barbers, like, you'd find out, well, his uncle, his whole family is barbers, or they started cutting their friend's hair when they were 11. And I'm like, I'm 32. So people were like, you already cut hair, right? And I was like, like, not really. So I started cutting hair at a shop in Everett, Mass. My man Long Lamb was an awesome barber, gave me a shot. That was the first shop I worked at, was Long's. We ended up moving it down the street. It was called Black Label Barbershop, and I had a good time. I worked there for a year. But he was letting me come in, and I was like sweeping and shadowing him and watching the other guys. And then he'd be like, hey, bring your tools, cut your friends. He's like, you don't pay me rent, just practice on your friends.
That.
Awesome guy. But then I was there the day before Thanksgiving, or like the Saturday before Thanksgiving. He's like, you bring your stuff? And I go, yeah. He goes, you got to set up. And I was like, dude, like, I haven't even done a haircut on the floor at school yet. And I remember that I cut 2 people that day.
Send it.
That didn't have appointments. And this first kid was like, I want a 2 all around with a lineup. I put the clipper on, the Oster 76, turned it on. This is before like any of the cordless stuff was out. And I hit this kid's hair in the front because you come in and the first thing that happened was a pile of dandruff just went everywhere.
Sweet.
All over. So that was my first time cutting hair. Stayed there for I worked with him through school and then about another year afterwards. Then I landed at the Barber's Den with Evan and the crew over there. Spent the last 6 years. I helped.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I helped open up the Somerville shop where I was a partner over there for a bit, and I was the manager, and I helped open that up. I was kind of the educator for the Barber's Den. Man, I had it. That was the best. That was tough to leave, but we accomplished a lot as a team over there. Like,
That's
that
cool.
was 6 of the best years of my life. Like, very special to me. Like, and to work with the group of barbers, like influential barbers, like in the Boston area that just happened to all be there at the same time.
Just really talented people.
Yeah, DG Cuts worked there. I don't know if you guys know her, but she's got a salon barbershop out in Mansfield, Mass. But she's a fabulous educator. She was
cool.
there. We had guys that learned how to cut hair in Greece that kind of moved back during the pandemic. Just such an amazing group of guys to work with.
It just kind of all fell in together.
Yeah, we traveled a lot together. We went out together. We a lot of ups and downs, a lot of personal stuff that we all kind of helped each other through over the last 6 years. So it's like it's really, really tight. So that was amazing.
So you left there, as hard as it was, because
2 years ago, my wife opened up a shop. She's been in the South End for the better part of like 20 years, Boston South End. And she worked with the same group of people for a long time from a couple different locations, but this location that she had previously worked in came up for sale, up for rent. The owner was having a hard time. He had a lot of personal stuff going on. I guess he was behind on the rent. And what I think this guy was going to try to do was con her into taking over her lease and paying the back rent without changing anything. The landlord was essentially like, yeah, you can have it. He's out of here. So we had to get him out. She took over the space 6 months before coronavirus hit.
Awesome.
So she had one other girl in there who since left and like went and did her own thing when she first opened it up. And then for the last year and a half, she's pretty much been by herself. She had one other friend working in there like part-time, kind of like when they were available, they were in there. And then sometimes they were there, sometimes they weren't. So it's kind of like she was really in there by herself. And
which is not fun.
no,
I don't know. I don't love working by myself. It's
I love it a couple days a week.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, we did so much with barbers then. Like I never thought that we would take it from just like guys doing haircuts, not really organized, to kind of turning it into like one of the best running barber shops, especially with 3 locations.
So are they still open?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
No. They're great. And there's 3 locations. And
well, when you left your other barbershops, they closed. So we
we'll
need
see.
to make sure.
No, all the Long's still open. My man Long is still open. The barber's den still open. They're all
right. Good.
Everybody's still good, you know. But everything previous to hair failed miserably after I left.
All right.
So, you know, like probably the beginning of the summer, I had kind of started to feel like I'm ready for my next thing. I don't know what it is, and you know.
But you knew you wanted to stay in hair.
Oh yeah, no,
Okay.
I'm not going anywhere. I don't think at this point with this many tattoos that there's really going to be a lot of options for me.
Tattoo artist.
Yeah.
True.
Podcaster.
Starting all over again.
Yeah.
Started hair
Yeah.
at 32, start doing tattoo. Yeah, I would do a full-time podcast, but I don't know if financially that would work out. But
You never know.
yeah, I kind of started to feel like it's time for my next thing. And I didn't know what it was. I was like, maybe help Evan open another barber's den and put some money in on it. And I was like, I really kind of want my own thing. And then I had been working by myself on Mondays, and I thought it was really kind of cool. My clients, it's funny, my existing clients really liked it, but if I had a new client, they'd be like, you're in this place by yourself? Like, yeah. They'd be like, where's everybody else? Like, I'm like, oh, God. So
It's weird what clients
Yeah.
think.
yeah.
Because we've had clients that comment on how busy it is or how busy it isn't.
Yeah.
And I've had clients that will come in when the salon is like slammed. And then when they get up to leave, they're like, where did everyone go? And I'm like, yeah, just there's ebbs and flows,
Lunchtime.
man.
It's whatever. Yeah.
Every time when back in the day when we were doing more walk-ins, there'd always be a customer and be like, whoa, never seen it this dead in here. And we'd all be like, yo, dude,
Stop.
dude, just stop. Just stop.
Sit down.
That's one of my biggest pet peeves when clients say that. Like
We could do a whole show on client pet peeves.
we
probably.
could.
Yeah.
I got some good ones.
Getting back to the new thing. At one point during the summer, my wife looked at me and she went, I love my shop, but I'm paying all this rent by myself. If I can't find somebody else, I should just go back to renting a chair because what's the difference? Mm-hmm. And I was like, nah, no way. Like, you wanted that space. You got the space. We put a good amount of money into renovating. Needed new floors, needed new everything, equipment, product, all that. And then like the time and the effort, I'm like, to let it go because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. Maybe I'll come there like 1 or 2 days a week and just do like men's haircuts, and you can just keep all the money. And then a couple conversations with my man Evan, and I realized like we were kind of going in different directions, and I was really like had the desire to do something smaller. And I feel like at some point I might get back to the point where I want, or if my wife and I want, a bigger space with employees again. But like right now, I'm like, I don't want any of that shit. I just want to worry about myself, worry about my wife, worry about our daughter, and see what we can do with this.
Mm-hmm.
You know
So
what I
you
mean?
guys are now in there working together.
We're in there working together.
So was
And
it
that's-
set up?
So that's the plan, though, for now, is just the two of you.
Just the two of us.
That's cool.
We can make it if we
pretty cool.
try.
Yep. You sure
love
can.
that.
I don't have that track on here.
I know.
You
So-
can cut it in later.
We'll put
Was
that
it
in.
set up for you to do, like, did you have a barber chair in there and that kind of stuff? Or is that stuff
No.
you had to now add in? But
Yeah.
you had the space for that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because she could fit 3 to 4 people in there, 3 comfortably, 4 if you're not all on at the same day.
And does she cut men's hair also?
She does, but
Okay.
we took men's cutting off of her menu.
Oh, I love that.
So, yeah, so she doesn't have to do it anymore. I would like to get to the point where I'm confident enough with women's haircuts where it's just haircut.
And she can teach you.
She can.
And I love that term
Will
of
she?
just haircutting, right? Because it sort of opens it for everybody, which is super cool.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Why not?
Yeah, when can we get that done?
Why not? Soon.
Yeah.
Here we
think,
go. Throwing down a challenge, Jen.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you're probably going to go that route.
I've been teaching Todd a bit. We've worked together.
Yeah, I need to get serious
yeah.
with it and start practicing, but
It's tough to when you're already busy
Yeah.
to make the time.
And
but-
and you have to be open to the creative build of that, right? It's
Yeah.
not like, oh, it's not easy. You can't be like, oh, just teach me long hair. Like you really have to be mentally opened
Yes.
to learn it, skill it, like all of those things. Skill it, is that a verb?
Skillet.
Did I just make that up?
yeah, no.
Skill it.
Send it. Go.
Yeah.
If it's from your hair length and up, I'm pretty,
got this.
I can do it. The styling might not be great on your hairstyle, but like I'm Sassoon trained, so
Oh, so you got it.
yeah, it's just I don't want to, at this point, I can give you a great men's haircut. I don't feel like I can give you a great women's haircut.
Yeah,
longer length, since it's just hair now. But a great longer.
longer.
But I do men's haircuts that are your length all the time, but it's square shaped. I understand how they want it styled. I understand how much to texturize it. The women's hairstyle, I don't really have that confidence yet, so I don't want to offer something that's not as good or almost as good as my men's haircut.
Yeah, you want to have amazing results for sure.
Yeah, I need to catch that up a little. So I'll work on it for a little while. I got all winter. I'm not as busy as I used to be.
Okay, so let's talk about that because you leave the barber's den to go with your wife, but I mean, there's a good amount of distance there. So you're kind of rebuilding.
Oh, I'm rebuilding.
And I think this is a really cool topic because a lot of people don't leave where they are because they're so afraid to rebuild. My clients, I've worked so hard to build my clients. So they're stuck in this like world of like a prisoner to their clients.
Yeah.
My clients, I love you all, but you are a prisoner to them. So it's like you don't make your next decision based on what you want to do or what you know is better for your career.
Right.
Because you're frozen with your clients. But you do it. Like
yeah,
this
I've
is
done
huge.
it a bunch. I don't care.
And it's amazing because here's the thing. You know why I think this is amazing?
That's why we get along.
Your skill set, though, is so good.
Thank you.
So you can now go and you're going to do it again. You already did it.
Yep.
You did it again. And that's what I think a lot of stylist barbers don't realize. If you have a great skill set, you just repeat what you just did. You have to rebuild it.
Yeah.
But that's fun.
You know,
It's creative.
I did it going from working in Everett to working at the barber's den, which was split mostly in Belmont, but I worked a little bit in the Melrose shop. But I got busier there because the Melrose shop was just slammed with walk-ins. So I was like, well, financially it's going to work out. So I did it there. And then when I just went to Belmont, and then after that, I went to the Somerville shop. And then the pandemic hit. So I've already rebuilt so many times that I'm like, what's one more going to hurt?
Yeah,
You know,
and I think it's awesome. And I think sometimes people need to leave where they are because it's time rather than leave the industry, right? Like you got to at least try. So this is crazy too because she wasn't a barber shop.
No.
So how are you marketing that? Like what are you doing to build your clientele?
I'm paying for advertisement on the internet for one.
Okay.
I don't even want to say which companies, but it's the big ones. You know, I'm taking out the ads on the appropriate search engines and I'm putting that in. I have to start using social media to do stuff besides share memes again. Because the point where I was like, I'm going to take another photo of the same person. Like, I don't get a ton of new clients at this point.
Yeah.
I'm booked out a week to 2 weeks in advance. It's like, it's the same people. The haircuts I do a lot of the time are not always the most exciting haircuts, like to what we were talking about before. I do largely like functional haircuts for working adults.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is though is that is honestly in the men's game, that's where the money is.
We need shirts.
Yeah.
Functional haircuts.
I gotta trademark that.
That's
For
a good
what
one.
was it? For average adults?
Working
Working.
adults.
Make
Not
them sound a little
Functional.
cooler.
Yeah.
Functional.
It's the cool haircut for a guy who has a good job.
Yeah.
It's like
that.
you're not gonna dye your hair orange, but you don't want your dad's men's regular haircut. You want it to be 2021. Like it should be tapered. It should be a little bit faded.
Oh, wait, say that again. It should be tapered. I know that's a big pet peeve of Todd's. Taper your haircuts.
Yeah, this should
Stop it
always.
with the-
I stopped
Yeah.
doing men's cuts. I suck at them. I'm sorry. I'm horrible. I don't do them anymore. Now they can get great haircuts by other people that work with us.
It sounds like you don't really need to do them.
No, I don't. You're right.
Well, there you go.
Wasn't my specialty.
Yeah.
I have no interest in color.
Yeah.
Neither do I.
I love coloring.
I wanted to learn it, but then I was like,
I mean, you can only do so much. I do hate when, like, if you're I don't want to say just a barber or just a hairstylist, but you know, if you're mostly focused on men's or women's, if you're just going to do men's, you should be able to do everything. I mean, let's face it though too, like the thing is with barbershops and salons is they do fall along different socio and economic lines. So if you're working in a largely like say African American community, well then you better get really good at that style of barbering.
Yeah.
You know, and hair's hair, and by working in Everett, I got really good at doing that. I could do a little bit of everything, and I'd like to do more of that. Just haven't had the opportunity to do it as much the last couple of years because of where I've been working. It's not as diverse. But if you're gonna just do men's, then learn how to do all of it. So anybody who walks in can get it. You know, but you know that's the kind of the cool thing about the barbershop is no one's expecting you to know how to do a shag.
True.
You know, so that, you know.
And if you could, it would just be that element of surprise.
Yeah, why not?
Super cool. So you and your wife are working together.
Yeah.
And let's chat. How is that working with your wife?
It's cool so far.
Yeah, fill us in.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Todd and I can relate, obviously.
yeah, so I'm there by myself Mondays and Wednesdays. So
Okay.
we're together. She's there by herself on Tuesdays. So it's Thursdays, Fridays, and then a short day Saturday. I don't believe in working late on Saturdays.
Agreed.
I mean, anytime I've ever taken a late client who walked in on a Saturday, I've always regretted it. So
Just don't do it.
2 to 3 o'clock
That's
at
us.
max.
We shut down by 3.
Yeah,
And I love that. I think
I like
it's-
1.
yeah.
I like 1 on Saturdays.
That does sound kind of nice.
Well, we close at 3, but like if no one's coming in,
Oh, yeah, we're just done.
we're
Yeah.
not in an area where there's like walk-in
Yeah.
traffic per se. Sometimes somebody will call and it's like, can you get here by 2? I'll do it. But yeah. But I get that. I don't want to be there. It's Saturday.
No, it's Saturday. We're already missing out on all the fun stuff.
Yeah, it's time to go.
But working together so far has been fun. There's been a couple of things where I've had to look at it and be like, new shop rule: you can't yell over the blow dryer for 15 minutes during a blow dryer when I have somebody in the chair.
New shop rule like that.
New shop rule, like that music's not gonna work when I'm here. You know, like
And if that's your biggest thing, then
no, it's been fun.
that's cool.
It's been fun.
It should be fun, right?
It should be. The big difference is I am a trash talking barber, and me in particular, my friend Andrew, who I've worked with and went to barber school, even though he's 10 years younger than me. He's one of my best friends, and we rag on each other. Then we rag on the other guys, and then the two of us, and it's all light. It's all light. It never really gets mean, but we just do it all day. It's like, you cannot make fun of your wife. You can't. You just can't. You can't.
I gotta find a new avatar for that one.
Yeah, and I kind of find like in most relationships, like one person will be the one that's like always like got a joke, and the other one is like the one that like my wife doesn't really crack on her friends, and like my friends and I just do it to each other all day because we're guys and we're jerks. We were like, all right, everybody was already like, yeah, how's that gonna work when you go over there and you start like trying to like bust Errin's chops? And I was like, it's just not gonna happen. I was like, I'm just not even gonna.
It's different conversations.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop before I start.
That's for the days you work by yourself.
Yes. So, I mean, I'm having a great time working
Good.
with her, to be honest. I mean, most of the people I know that were like, you gotta work with your wife? Oh, we're all people that have like been divorced like 3 times. I'm like, I like hanging out
And
with
are
my
jobless.
Yeah. When Todd and I was even most of
We
my
got that a
clients.
lot.
Yeah, they were like, you really think you can handle that? I was like, yeah, I mean, even the gym, like I didn't work with you in the gym, but we
Yeah.
did it together in a sense, like behind the scenes. My last salon, he would help me. I'm like, we've always worked together.
You guys have 2 sections in your shop.
Yeah, we
too.
do like a half wall to kind of give it a little bit of separation.
It's
I love
definitely
it.
separated, but it's definitely, I don't even know if this makes sense. Like it's
Yeah, it
it's
has
not-
a flow.
Yeah, there's no door or
Yeah,
anything.
it's not its own like shop.
Right.
But it's been fun for us too. And same thing, we have our butthead moments or new shop rule type things. But
Yeah.
for the most part, it's really fun.
Oh,
and
really?
I like it. Yeah.
You have something to share? Breaking news?
No.
You just made this face like we have some rules.
Well, we used to fight about what kind of coffee we were going to
Oh,
serve. We don't
that
even
was
serve
before we
coffee,
even
but,
opened.
Like stupid detail
Yeah.
things that it
Yeah.
would just be like, I don't love that idea. And he's like, I love that idea.
Well, and then the fucking pandemic came and it didn't matter
Yeah.
because we couldn't serve beverages.
This is just
I
crazy.
kind of find with stuff like that is instead of like arguing with your business partner or your spouse or whoever, is like just go buy the coffee, and if they don't like it, then they can get their coffee next time.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's taken me 40 years to
Totally.
figure that
Some
out.
stuff's just not worth arguing about.
No.
Jen wanted a Keurig
Keurig, yeah.
And I was like, no, we're going to open this nice salon. We need a French press. It's got to be nice coffee. We have a Keurig right now. But yeah, we have the French press.
We do.
I just have to go buy coffee now that we can have beverages.
The French press is kind of impractical for a busy shop, though. The Keurig, which I don't like, is much more practical.
No, it makes way more sense. But
Totally.
Way more sense. The Keurig sucks.
It does, but it does the purpose. I'm like,
serves the
I'm not
purpose.
here to serve. I mean, I'll serve the coffee. I'll bring it over, but like, I'm not a barista.
No, we're here to do hair.
Yeah. And and honestly, so that changed sort of our perspective on what we're doing. We're like, we're here to do hair. Like, so that's what we're going to do well. You want these other things. Some of it we'll have a coffee, whatever, but like, I'm not here to make a fancy coffee.
It's not Starbucks.
I know. I've seen people on social media that will have like a martini of the month.
Yeah,
and
I'm
like, are you
time for
mixing up? I just don't want to be responsible for it.
No.
I've worked in the bar and restaurant industry too, and I don't want to be responsible for that.
We used to do like beers on Fridays. If somebody went to the store, I'd be like, get a 30-pack of Modelo's.
We were just talking about that, kind of doing something like pop-up, like exactly like that.
I don't like doing it anymore because for some reason, not everybody, but some guys would get in the chair. So a couple of things would happen. People who came a lot started expecting it. Mm-hmm. And then people would start asking me. Right. And I was just like, yo, it's not like included with the service. We don't have a liquor license. We're just throwing you a beer. Like,
have it and then go.
Yeah, or then some people would want more than one. And it's like, nah. And then you're cleaning up and then you're around people drinking all day. Not all day, but like from 3 o'clock to 7 or whatever.
Right.
And then a lot of guys, the second they crack a beer and the work week's over, all of a sudden they're acting like they've had 4 beers and they can't sit still. And they're loud.
And now it's like you're doing a kid's cut.
Yeah. And I was just like, I'm done with this. Like, I don't care.
Because then it takes away from your fun of what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm like, just pay for your haircut. You don't need any alcohol when you come in. Like,
go to the bar.
Yeah, there's plenty of bars. Like anywhere I've worked, there's always been a bar in walking distance. You can go to the bar. Like,
I've said that recently. Like, I'm not a bar. I don't want to be a bar. No. I just don't want to be responsible for it.
I think the
expectation too. Like Steve brought up a good point. When people start
really good
expecting it, it's Friday. Like, I don't mind it randomly. Like, we have a grocery store next door to our salon. So like sometimes on a Friday, Jen's finishing up her last client and she's like, are we having a beer? I'm like, I'll run over and grab some. Yeah. And if clients are hanging out and want to have one, we're kind of closing up and wrapping up. That's different. But yeah, I don't want to like.
Yeah, it's too much
all the time.
I went to a shop in Baltimore when I was visiting once. My friend was getting a haircut. And they have a beer fridge, and they were sponsored by one of the local beers. And they were like, help yourself. And I sat there at 11 in the morning and watched some older guy drink 4 beers waiting for a haircut.
Holy moly.
I had one. They were like, dude, get a beer. I was like, cool, I'm down here for the weekend. I'm not doing anything. So I had a beer because I was like, well, I'm not going to, like, it's 11 in the morning for one. I was like, for two, like, I'm not here to just drink all these guys' beers all day. I can't imagine between the cleanup, people spilling stuff.
Yeah.
Dudes you get busy. Some dude's going to have 6 beers because he's waiting for an hour. It's insane.
That sounds like a bad idea.
It's crazy. Yeah, and then to your point,
then they're making requests.
You could get Heineken, like,
because that's going to happen.
Hey, we could fit a draft. Someone's in there measuring. We could fit a draft here.
And then what if they leave your place and get in a car crash?
I know.
I never even thought of that.
Yeah. You need to.
Yeah, it's just.
I don't know how Massachusetts is. In New Hampshire, we can give out alcohol.
Yes, you just can't charge it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we're allowed to. But I still don't want to.
Nah, I don't blame you. I do not blame you.
Again, if it's random and we're just hanging out and it's like, you know what, let's go, someone go grab beer or whatever, cool. But if it doesn't stay sporadic, like the second somebody expects it, it's not as fun too. Yeah. It takes away that last minute, like, hey, here's $20, go run and grab something.
During the summer, this younger kid came in, my coworker was kind of, and he's like, oh, we should have a drink. Guys don't do the drinks anymore. Used to place. And I had a couple of younger guys that are like, I used to love coming here. You guys did the drinks, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it's a pandemic. I can't give you a drink. Like, it's not my fault. And this is like the brief period of time where we were cutting without masks during the summertime. And the kid wouldn't let it go. And my coworker looks at me and he's like, ask Steve. He's like, Steve, can I have a drink? And I was like, oh my God. And he just wouldn't let it go. I was like, yeah. I was like, you better finish it. So I went to the back and I poured him like a triple shot of tequila and gave him nothing to chase it with. I was like, I'm going to torture this kid.
But really, I mean, they're there for the
throw
haircut.
it in the microwave for 10.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been good.
Yeah. We had a guy I was bartending in Boston, and it was their tradition. It was a group of friends. They asked for a shot of like Beefeater gin or whatever. We're like, can you throw it in the microwave for 30? And I was like, for what? Microwave? I was like totally lost. And they were like, yeah, it's a tradition. You take a hot shot of gin on your birthday. I'm
Ew.
like,
Why?
Should stop.
I did it for him. I don't know.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. It was,
I've never taken a shot of gin in my life.
no one does.
That's
Well,
nice.
that group did.
I like gin and tonics too.
Me too.
Yeah. Refreshing. Not warm.
That's gross.
It is pretty
It's
gross.
torture.
All right. So to wrap it up, what's your advice for the people coming out of barber school? What you got for them?
Do the work. It's not going to happen overnight. You got to do a little bit of everything, a little bit of social media, but it's not the end all be all.
Agreed.
Just consistency, show up.
That episode comes out today, actually.
Does it?
Really.
Social media marketing
Nice.
should have come out this morning.
Cool.
Yeah. Because we talked about that recently, how a lot of people think if I post the back of someone's head on social media or Instagram over and over and over, I'll get busy.
Yeah. Yep.
But you won't.
It's not.
Yeah.
I used to use, the landscape for Instagram has changed too. Mm-hmm. And I think the app is on the decline. I think it's kind of done. I know some people with some really big accounts. Like I know a couple of people that are in like a couple 100,000s. I know one guy who's pushing 1 million who doesn't do hair. And he's told me, he's like, engagement's down. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you have like 700,000 followers and your engagement's down? Like, how does somebody like me who has like 3,500 followers expect to come? You know what I mean? I was looking at some other accounts where I know that people legitimately have around 20,000 followers and they're getting the same amount of likes on a haircut photo that I am. I used to use Instagram and use local hashtags. I said, I'm just using this to get people into my chair because I know guys were searching Boston barber, Somerville barber, stuff, Massachusetts, New England hair. And I used that and it really worked to my advantage. But I think that those days are kind of over. I think it's all the stories and the reels now. I'm not great with the reels.
Todd is.
Yeah, you guys are good.
I make one reel.
You've made a couple that are
Well,
real
I've
cool.
made ones with words are easy.
Yeah,
I made one with a hat the other day and people were like, holy shit. I'm like, I don't
can't
know.
do
You just line it up. Anyways, different topic.
Yeah, consistency. And I know things are different up in New Hampshire where you have to pay the person the hourly if they're not making the commission. Regardless of that, you have to show up whether you have clients or you don't. Be in the shop, get your face out there, sweep, help the people who have been there. Like I kind of looked at it when I was getting into hair, like I'm not getting paid right now. There was no option. There was no like, well, can you pay me hourly? That doesn't exist in barbershops where I live and work. So to me, I looked at it like I'm getting paid an experience. This person who's been here, who has a full book, is taking the time to show me how to do things. I'm getting paid an opportunity. You'll see barbers with bad habits, and I was never that guy. I was always there early. I would sweep up, make sure my station was clean. My customer service when I first started out was great because I said, well, my haircuts aren't going to be great, but my customer service can be great.
Build the relationship first. Yeah.
I would say consistency there and get educated. Make an effort to get some education. Find a couple of educators that you like. I recommend Sassoon. I recommend Arojo. I work with Arojo a little bit here and there. And I have learned so much traveling to New York and San Francisco to learn how to cut hair from people that I don't work with, people that work from a system that's been handed down to them from people before them. And, you might not take everything from that, or you might not always use everything from that, but it's going to give you a foundation. So that's what I would really recommend to people. And just, you got to give it time.
And the process of learning, I think, opens your mind up to discovery as well.
And you're going to meet new interesting people.
Just so fun.
It's great. Network, go to events. It's not always about the money. It's not about being an overnight success. It's like you said earlier, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Yeah.
And just know that you're going to suck for a while. And
that's okay.
It's good to be the low man on the totem pole or girl on the totem pole. And, you'll get there if you stick with it.
Love it. Now you have a podcast.
Yeah.
Let's give you a shout out to your podcast.
So, so I cut hair at Parlor on Tremont in Boston South End. And I really need some new clients. So if you're in the Boston area, you can book online at parlorontremont.com.
Love it.
Podcast is the 50 Ton Podcast. It is a just a wild hell ride with me and my man Ed, who's
good.
He's my
And it's
best
not hair
friend.
related.
It's not hair related.
Just entertainment.
We talk about hair.
Okay.
I mean, what goes on in the hair world, 9 times out of 10 is more interesting than anything else that anyone else is doing. And we need the people who have other jobs to come in and help play their part in the insanity.
Yeah, we need those actors.
Yes.
Normal folk.
So it's not a hair podcast. It's a life banter. Just
Cool.
yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna check
fun.
it out.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Thanks.
thanks for coming on. Looking forward to following everything you and Errin have going on, and
Yeah.
we will.
Todd will put all your info in the.
Yeah, we'll put everything in the show notes on YouTube. It'll be down below, and I think that's it.
Yeah.
We'll wrap up there. Thanks again, Steve.
Thank you very much.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.